Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I am absolutely thrilled to share this one with you. Today, we're diving right in, taking a step-by-step chronological journey to uncover literally some of the most mind-bending secrets buried deep within our own planet. We're talking about the Amazon rainforest, not just as this amazing natural wonder, but as a giant, overgrown vault guarding the forgotten history of highly advanced human civilizations. So settle in and let's unravel this massive mystery together. Section 1. The Unexplored Giant. Okay, let's really get into this. To grasp the secrets we're about to uncover, we have to first step back and look at the terrifying scale of the Amazon. For centuries, humanity was just asking, what is hiding beneath that canopy? Just hacking away at vines with machetes. But a massive paradigm shift happened, step by step in 2010. Picture this. Scientists are sitting in a lab. They're monitoring data from a NASA satellite equipped with laser technology orbiting high above the Amazon. They figured, well, maybe we'll map a new river or a mountain, but instead, the exact moment the data hit those lab screens, the entire room just fell dead silent. First, the imagery revealed these clear, geometric paths. Then, human-made roads appeared. And finally, at the end of those roads, a city, and then another, and another. An entire connected network that nobody, and I mean nobody, ever imagined existed. But you know what makes that 2010 discovery so incredibly humbling? Today, an absolutely staggering 90% of the Amazon remains completely unexplored. 90%. That really sets up the sheer scale of the mysteries still literally buried in the dirt out there.
The mathematical scale of this jungle is honestly hard to wrap your head around. The total area is 5.5 million square kilometers, stretching across 9 countries. To put that into perspective, that is roughly 7 times the entire size of Pakistan. It holds an estimated 390 billion trees. And the water volume? It's so massive that just 1 single second of the Amazon River emptying out equals 10 years of water flowing through the Nile. 10 years. When you look at those staggering numbers, you quickly realize how easily an entire sprawling lost civilization could just vanish, totally swallowed whole by 390 billion trees.
Section 2. How LiDAR revealed the truth. So, if the jungle is that ridiculously vast and impenetrable, how are we finding these cities today? Well, modern explorers have basically traded in their machetes for airplanes and lasers. The secret weapon here is LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging. Imagine you're standing in a pitch-black room. You can't see a thing, right? But if you turn on a flashlight, the light hits the walls, bounces back to your eyes, and reveals the shape of the room. LiDAR does exactly that, but from a moving airplane. Step 1, it fires millions of laser pulses every single second across the jumble. Next, while a bunch of those lasers just hit the tree canopy, others pierce right through the tiny gaps in the leaves, hitting the ground and bouncing back up. Finally, a computer takes all of that returning data and digitally strips away every single tree, leaving you with a perfect 3D map of the ground. It's a real game changer. In just a few hours, LiDAR accomplishes what used to take archaeologists decades of backbreaking digging. Section 3. Rise and Fall of the Mayans. And what did this amazing LiDAR tech actually reveal? Well, it completely shattered everything we thought we knew about the Mayan civilization. Let's walk step by step through how our understanding of these people who ruled for 3,000 years evolved over time. For the longest time, we just had scattered puzzle pieces. First, way back in 1848, an officer named Modesto Mendez was wandering through the jungles of Guatemala and stumbled upon these massive stone structures stretching up into the sky. These were the towering temples of Tikal, totally suffocated by the jungle. Fast forward to 2012, and researcher Dr. Douglas Kennett scientifically proves that a severe drought actually triggered their collapse starting after 800 AD. But the real shock? That came in 2018. A major LiDAR scan, led by researcher Marcelo Canuto, basically peeled back the canopy and revealed over 60,000 hidden structures in just a single scan. We're talking palaces, huge defensive walls, and advanced irrigation canals that modern farmers would honestly be jealous of. And this brilliantly illustrates just how wildly advanced the Mayans actually were. I mean, think about this. While their European counterparts wouldn't even learn the mathematical concept of zero for another 1,000 years, the Mayans had already completely mastered it. They calculated a calendar so precise that it was off by only 2 days compared to our modern scientific calendars. And they did all of that without telescopes or computers. Plus, they built towering, gravity-defying architecture entirely without cement or modern tools. They weren't just surviving out there in the harsh jungle, they were completely mastering it.
Because of LiDAR, we now know that Tikal wasn't just a random collection of isolated villages. It was a massive, incredibly complex, interconnected urban network. The population? A staggering, estimated 10 to 15 million people. Just pause and think about that for a second. That rivaled and in many ways totally exceeded the entire population of England at the exact same point in history. So the absolutely crucial question is, where on earth did 15 million people go? Let's track the collapse step by step. First, starting around 800 AD, those severe droughts I mentioned completely crippled their water sources. Then, when the earth dried up and gave out, starving cities naturally turned on each other, and brutal internal wars erupted. Later on, European contact introduced devastating foreign diseases into the mix. Eventually, the people vanished or scattered. And the jungle? Well, it had been waiting patiently for thousands of years. It slowly crept back in, ultimately swallowing 3 millennia of human achievement.
Section 4. Explorers and Hidden Tribes. The tantalizing clues left behind by these lost cities literally drove people to madness. You've probably heard the legendary myth of El Dorado, right? Back in the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors heard these wild rumors of a king who bathed in gold dust living in a city made entirely of gold. Thousands of men marched right into the Amazon searching for it, and very few ever returned. But modern scientists believe El Dorado wasn't actually a total lie. It was more of a half-truth. It wasn't a literal city made of solid gold, but rather a distorted, magnified reflection of the genuine, immense wealth, the agricultural brilliance, and the highly advanced societies that actually were thriving there. The Spanish saw echoes of the Maya and other great civilizations, and over time just twisted it into a myth. Proving the truth behind that myth has been the absolute life's work of so many dedicated explorers. Let's look at the discoveries step by step. You have David Gran, who traced the tragic 1925 disappearance of Colonel Percy Fawcett, a man who vanished while obsessively searching for the city of Z. Then there's Charles Mann's groundbreaking research, which proved that the pre-Columbus Americas housed over 50 million people, rivaling ancient Rome. You've got Michael Heckenberger, who spent 20 years living in Brazil's Xingu region, uncovering massive 2,000-year-old settlement networks. And Erica Bergman, who even led expeditions finding uncategorized ruins completely submerged underwater right in the middle of the Amazon River. Piece by piece, step by step, they have been painstakingly putting this massive puzzle together. But here's the craziest part. This history isn't just stuck in the past. It is alive right now. According to Brazil's Indigenous Affairs Bureau, there are currently 114 completely uncontacted tribes living deep in the Amazon today. No internet, no smartphones, absolutely no concept of our modern borders. Their timeline exists completely parallel to ours. Now, some of these tribes will shoot arrows at any outsiders who get too close. But this isn't just mindless hostility. It is an absolutely necessary defense mechanism for survival. Why? Because historically, first contact events follow a tragic step-by-step pattern. For example, in 2018, a photographer managed to establish direct contact with an isolated tribe. Before that, they were perfectly happy and healthy in their own secluded world. But the historical consequence of outside contact is almost always the same. Pathogens. Step 1. The outside world initiates contact. Step 2. We unknowingly introduce foreign pathogens like the flu, measles, or smallpox. And Step 3. Because these isolated people have absolutely zero natural immunity, a simple cold for us quickly becomes a tragic mass fatality for them. They violently defend their isolation because their very survival depends on it. Section 5. Terra Preta's Final Secret. As we wrap up our explainer today, I really want to introduce you to the final and, honestly, perhaps the most grounded secret of the Amazon. It's a literal scientific anomaly buried right under the boots of all those explorers. So, here's a fascinating scientific fact for you. Normal Amazonian soil is actually incredibly infertile. It's terrible for farming. Yet scientists keep finding these massive patches of ultra-fertile soil, known as terra preta, or dark earth. And the crazy part here? This soil is not natural. It is an entirely man-made mixture. It consists of charcoal, organic waste, and bone fragments. This step-by-step engineering process proves that an advanced civilization actively altered the very ground they walked on to support massive agricultural systems. The people themselves might be long gone, but the rich, engineered soil they built thousands of years ago is still there today, richer than ever. All of this brings us to a really beautiful summary of what we've learned. You see, the Amazon is not just a massive bunch of trees producing oxygen for the planet. As the saying goes, the Amazon is a living book with wet ink. It is an active, ongoing historical record. The ancient people who slashed the earth, built sprawling cities without cement, and brilliantly engineered the very soil. Well, they wrote the first chapters. And today, with LiDAR mapping new ruins and 114 uncontacted tribes still living in the jungle, the ink of this history is quite literally still drying.
It is so easy for us to look down at our smartphones, look up at our skyscrapers, and just assume we know everything there is to know about our modern world. But if 90% of the Amazon is still out there actively hiding ancient cities that rivaled the greatest empires in history, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. If we don't even know the full history of our own planet, what else are we completely missing? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep